J-Spot. Oh, shit. J-Spot Jack Cheese, Cat Pack Comics, Week 2, MCU, Review, Series. You know who it is. This is Week 2 of my review series where I watch all the MCU movies. And Week 2 means that it's time for The Incredible Hulk. I didn't mean to be drinking again. I'm not going to make that a thing. We just got a bunch of clearance holiday wassail. And I love it. So, drink that. Wassail. Oh. I liked it still. More than I was expecting to like it this time. As much as I liked it last time. Just about like what I was hoping for. Which was I liked it just minus the rose-tinted MCU glasses. Which is good. I'm glad that was how I took it. Because I had very fond memories of this movie. A big fan of Edward Norton and liked him as Bruce Banner. As much as I like Mark Ruffalo too, I'm kind of bummed that Edward Norton got booted. I don't know. It's so hard to like compare them because I like Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner a lot, of course, but I also really like Edward Norton. So maybe they could just have both of them in the movies. Have two Hulks. Just have two Hulks. I mean, they had Lou Ferrigno in this one. They had two Hulks in this movie. I'm not saying this is like the epitome or like this is the definitive, I guess, comic book Bruce Banner, but what I think of when I think of Bruce Banner is the like frail, beaten down, weary nerd scientist guy. And that's why I think Edward Norton really fits him. Mark Ruffalo is too healthy looking, I guess. I don't know. He's just more. He's not fat. I don't know what I'm saying. He's just... Edward Norton's a skinny, tiny, frail, nerdy, scientist-looking guy, I guess. Mark Ruffalo isn't. And that's it. Also liked Tim Roth as the bad guy. Probably just because I like Tim Roth. Because I definitely saw that the bland Marvel villain thing that people talk about that I mentioned before. I definitely see that more with him in this than with Jeff Bridges in Iron Man. He's just kind of like, oh, I gotta kill him because he, made me look like a fool, I guess. So now I really want to kill him, and I'm gonna do anything to kill him. He's kind of one note, but like I like him because it's Tim Roth, and he is pretty sweet when he actually gets the serum and he fights him on the campus. That fight's like really awesome. That's something that this movie definitely has over Iron Man. It's like I feel like all the action scenes are way more entertaining to watch than Iron Man. But most notably the fight on the college campus. A frustrating thing, but this isn't necessarily the movie's fault. It's more the studio's fault because they did not have shit planned out at this point. I feel like they had to still been kind of like, we're not sure if this is gonna work. We're not sure if we're gonna actually be able to do this franchise because this was the first time they ever did that. Now every fucking franchise is trying to do a cross-universe thing. But they really cherry pick stuff from us, like elements. The future movies that involve the Hulk cherry pick elements from this, as this cherry picks from the Ang Lee Hulk movie. Where every time I watch it, I'm like, is it a sequel or is it a reboot? Like, there's no origin story, but you could put there is in like the opening credits, they have that. But you could put that to like, everybody knows Hulk's origin story more or less. Like they're kind of trying to do away with those if they're not needed because everybody has seen origin stories so much. And I'm fine with that. I'm not complaining about that. It's just that it kind of is frustrating to like all the like disservice to the character of like that whole storyline. And this entire movie is like just brushed aside more or less, except that they brought General Ross back in Civil War. Other than that, this movie didn't really happen as much as the in-universe characters are concerned. Another point in this movie's favor is the structure, like the plot. It's different. It's not the, formulaic superhero plot that you have nowadays, where he's not saving the world. He's a fugitive. He's trying to not get captured. It's just a little different than the usual fare, and I like that it's different. That said, it ends pretty much where it begins, which is a real, I don't know, like ever since Thor Ragnarok, I really look for that, because end of Thor Ragnarok, there's a major change, and the characters don't just end where they began, and that's really cool. And there have been some that have been like that, but a lot are just kind of like, you can not watch The Incredible Hulk. I'm not saying you should, like, as far as MCU goes, I think it's one of the better ones. It's at least in the better half, I would say. I think. I'll let you know in a couple months, I guess. We'll see, actually, because I'm doing that fucking list, right? I gotta remember to do that. He is like a fugitive in South America, like Mexico or something. Then he, gets found, and then the movie happens, and then he's a fugitive in Canada. And maybe he has control of the Hulk now? I don't know, because they kind of did away with that in the Avengers. I mean, you could say that at the end of it, when he's like, I'm always angry, and he goes in that he's got control of it again, but then what the fuck happens in Ultron? That's kind of what I mean, is they play so fast and loose with the Hulk, which is already kind of a touchy character, because even it's already hard enough to tell if he's under control or not, and all that stuff, so it just makes it more frustrating. But that's not the movie's fault. The MCU was really shoddily put together until the Avengers, I think. That was when they kind of were like, oh hey, this actually kind of works. Let's work better in Phase 2, guys. I know I said that Nick Fury at the end of Iron Man was like tops for the end credit scene. I think I have to revise that and say Tony Stark at the end of this is better, because yes, Nick Fury being in that was cool. It's like a comic book character being in that and being like, oh hey, him, sweet. Like, seeing Tony Stark in this was like way better, because not only is it comic book character Tony Stark, it's movie character Tony Stark, who was in a different movie, is now in this movie, an actual very first crossover. Fuck, that's cool. It just, none of the end credit scenes will ever come close to either of these two, just because for the sole fact that they were the first happenings of that, and you can't duplicate that. You can't duplicate that feeling. It's not a question of who they bring in. It's not oh fuck, it's Power Man. It's just yeah, they bring in characters into the movies all the time now. Cool. That was the first time it ever happened, and that's awesome. And I gotta wrap up, because I'm probably pushing 10 minutes or I'm over. Fuck, I hope not. The Incredible Hulk. It's good. And that's it. Next week is Iron Man 2. No. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really looking forward to the next few movies leading up to Avengers, because when I remember, I've been wanting to watch Captain America again, but other than that, I'm I don't really remember liking any of these. But we'll see. I gotta do it, right? I have to. Oh, this is so awful. Why did I do this?